Coming to the next session on acids, bases and salts. And in this session, we are going to learn about some important compounds that we see it in a everyday life. Some bases, some salts and some acids that we come across in a day-to-day life. Okay. So we are going to discuss mainly the 5 important compounds. First compound is sodium hydroxide, which we also call it as caustic soda. So the reason for calling it as caustic soda, caustic in the sense very dangerous, caution, right? So caustic is very corrosive nature. Anything that is very much corrosive means we call it as caustic. Corrosive in the sense what? If it falls on a skin, the skin will get damaged. The cells on a skin will get damaged. You get a wound there, right? So that property we will call it as caustic. Okay, so this is called caustic soda. This is also just like an acid. You can't touch with your bare hand. Say HCl or H2SO4, can you touch it with your bare hand? No, right? Just like that, sodium hydroxide is available as pellets in the market. White color pellets they are. Pellets in the sense granules. Okay, white color, and if you touch it, it is very soft, soapy feeling you will have. Say you should not touch actually. Okay, you should always wear a gloves before touching sodium hydroxide. Why? Because if you touch it with your naked hand, what happens is it will spoil the skin. Okay, you get that burning sensation, you feel that pain because it will damage the cells on a skin wherever it spills. Okay, so that's the reason it is called as caustic soda, dangerous compound, corrosive. Okay, that's the reason caustic soda. Fine. And this sodium hydroxide can be prepared with the process called chlor-alkali process. Okay, and one more point, try to remember here. What do you mean by the word alkali? Sodium hydroxide is the best example for alkali. Alkali means a base which is soluble in water. A base which is soluble in water is called alkali. Okay, so the examples for alkali is NaOH and KOH. Both the compounds we will call them as alkali. So alkali is nothing but some base, but all bases do not soluble in water. Only those bases which can soluble in water is called as alkali here. Okay, so one of the example for alkali is sodium hydroxide. We are preparing alkali and we are also preparing chlorine. During the course of preparing NaOH, you get chlorine as the byproduct. That is the reason this process is called chlor-alkali process. Okay, so to prepare NaOH through chlor-alkali process, we take aqueous sodium chloride as the raw material. Okay, so we are taking NaCl plus water, and this solution, this is aqueous NaCl solution. NaCl with water is called aqueous NaCl solution. Okay, and 5% NaCl solution it is. 5% NaCl solution. 5% means what? 5 grams of NaCl dissolved in 95 grams of water. 5 grams of NaCl dissolved in 95 grams of water is called 5% NaCl. And 5% NaCl is also called as brine solution. Is also called as brine solution. Clear everybody? So we are taking brine solution as the raw material. Okay, and we are passing electricity. We are passing, it is electrolysis reaction, endothermic reaction, decomposition reaction, where we are performing electrolysis. Okay, electricity is passed through brine solution. So whenever you pass electricity through brine solution, you will get NaOH plus Cl2 plus H2. Okay, and here Cl2 gas, you will get it from anode side. Okay, H2 gas H2 gas is released from cathode side. Okay, and NaOH you will get near cathode. I'll tell you what is that cathode, anode and all. Okay, just try to remember NaOH is obtained near cathode and Cl2 is formed at anode and H2 is formed at cathode. Okay, so this is what the reaction you have to remember. And now let us go for the process what actually is happening. Okay, so all electrolysis reactions we will be taking in a particular glass container. We will call it as electrolytic cell, CELL cell. Okay, so electrolytic cell is a glass container where two electrodes will be there. Electrodes are nothing but some metal rods. Okay, electrodes can be made up of carbon, graphite, platinum, palladium. Okay, so electrodes are unreactive metal rods. Okay, and the rod which I connect to a negative terminal of battery is called as cathode, and the rod which I connect to a positive terminal of battery we call it as anode. Okay, this is a battery. Battery will have negative terminal and positive terminal, isn't it? With the help of wire, I am connecting this rod with a negative terminal. That particular rod we will call it as cathode. And the rod which I connect to a positive terminal of battery is called as anode. Okay? So this is the source of electricity. Reaction takes place when you pass electricity, no? So as a source of electricity, we are taking this battery. And now, here these electrodes, I will dip it in a brine solution. So, which solution is it? Brine solution. Okay. So, this is NaCl solution. NaCl solution. Okay. And not only NaCl, you have water also. Brine solution in the sense it is the combination of NaCl and water. NaCl is there, water also is there. And the moment you pass electricity, what will happen? You know the concept. Whenever NaCl goes into water, this particular NaCl quickly breaks up into Na plus ion and Cl minus ion. Yes or no? So in a solution, you would be having lots of Na plus ion and Cl minus ion. Okay, and you have water also. In the presence of electricity, you are passing electricity to the solution. So in presence of electricity, our water also will break down into H plus ion and OH minus ion. Okay, so not only Na plus Cl minus ions, you also have H plus ion and OH minus ion. Yes or no? H plus ion and OH minus ion. And fine, these two are having positive charge on them. Na plus ion and H plus, both are having positive charge on them. Cl minus, OH minus, these two guys have negative charge on them. Okay, you all know the concept, always positive things will get attracted to the negative things. Yes or no? Same concept here. The positively charged ions will move towards cathode side because cathode is negative. Yes or no? Cathode is the electrode, that is metal rod, which connected to the negative terminal of battery. Okay, so cathode is a negative electrode. So positive guys will move towards cathode and negative guys will move towards anode. Okay, so here what will happen? This H plus is much smaller than Na plus. H plus is a very small ion. Okay, so H plus will quickly move towards cathode. Which ion is quickly moving towards cathode? H plus is very quickly moving towards cathode. There it will undergo a reaction. Two H pluses will combine there and you will get it as hydrogen gas. So where is this hydrogen gas coming from? H pluses are going to this rod, there it is undergoing a reaction. What reaction and how it is undergoing a reaction, you will see it in a chapter, metals and non-metals. Okay, anyway, that is not required for your level. It is all these aspects you will learn it in the higher classes like class 11 and 12. Okay, so just as of now try to remember H plus, all H pluses will go near, you know, the negative rod, there it is undergoing a reaction and it is getting converted into H2 gas and it will come out. Outlet is there, see here, outlet, through the outlet our H2 gas is coming out. Fine. And now I told you negative ions will move towards anode because they are negatively charged. Anode is a positively charged electrode. So negative ions will go, and now you select among them who is smaller and who is bigger. Definitely Cl minus is smaller. Okay, so smaller one will easily move. They can run faster, they can go faster, they are more active. Yes, say for example, if smaller kids are there at home, they are very much active than the elder one. They keep moving every time. They are so much active, they have lots of energy. The same concept here. Okay, the smaller ion, here the smaller ion is this is more active. So quickly Cl minus, all Cl minuses will go to this rod. There they will undergo a reaction which is called oxidation. Anyway, that's not required here. Okay, and it will undergo a reaction and you know they will be converted into chlorine gas. All Cl minus ions will go there. There they will be converted into Cl2 gas and it will be coming from this particular outlet. Okay, so that is why I wrote Cl2 is formed at anode, H2 is formed at cathode. Okay, and now Na plus, this is bigger one, OH minus bigger one, they won't move so fastly towards the electrodes, they will stay there only. So Na plus is a positive part, OH minus is a negative part, so definitely they can combine with each other. No? I told you always in chemistry, positive guys will get attracted towards the negative guys. So whenever positive negative guys are near to each other, you know they will quickly combine to form a compound. Okay, if chance is there. So definitely all H pluses would have moved to the cathode, all Cl minuses would have moved to the anode. So the remaining guys are Na plus and OH minus. Definitely they will combine and they do combine to form a stable compound called NaOH. Okay, so this is how NaOH is formed. And this NaOH, after forming, you know, the concentration of NaOH is more near the cathode. Okay, so that is why NaOH is formed near cathode, we say. Clear? This is all about chlor-alkali process. Very, very important process. Okay, and actually you no need to explain how Na plus is going, H plus where it goes and all. Just for the understanding sake I told all this. You just have to write this reaction, this diagram, okay, and balanced equation you have to write. Clear everybody? So what you should mainly understand is whenever an electricity is passed through a brine solution, remember you get NaOH, Cl2 and H2. Where do you get NaOH? Near cathode. Where do you get Cl2? Near anode. And where do you get H2? Near cathode. Okay, sorry, at cathode. So this is the main important thing that you have to remember. And now you should also remember the uses. Use of NaOH. Where is NaOH used? NaOH is used to make soaps. Okay, in soap industry NaOH is used. And also it is used as degreasing material, degreasing agent for metals. Okay, to degrease the metals NaOH is used. Two uses you have to remember for every compound. Okay, and the uses of Cl2. Where is chlorine is used? Chlorine is used in swimming pools. Swimming pools or water treatment. Water treatment, because it has an ability to kill the germs, harmful germs. So as a disinfecting agent, it can be used in a swimming pool as well as water treatment plants. Okay, and uses of hydrogen. Uses of hydrogen. So where is our hydrogen used? Hydrogen is used as a fuel. Okay, and hydrogen is used for the preparation of ammonia. Used for the preparation of ammonia, that is NH3. NH3 is a very famous compound, right, which is very much necessary to prepare various types of fertilizers. So such raw material which is used to prepare fertilizers is manufactured with the help of hydrogen. Okay, so this is all about our NaOH. You should know its preparation. You should know the uses of NaOH, Cl2 and H2. At least 2 uses you have to remember. And now you got to know, right, why this process is called chloralkali process. The process involves the preparation of chlorine, and you can also prepare alkali. Alkali is nothing but NaOH here. Okay, so that's the reason it is called chloralkali process. So the whole concept can be asked for 3 marks, or it can be asked for 1 mark and 2 mark, anything. They may ask you why this is a chloralkali process, or they'll ask you what is formed at anode, what is formed at cathode. Okay, and what are the uses of NaOH? About the uses also they can ask you. So the whole concept you need to remember. So the second compound we are moving is bleaching powder. Bleaching powder. Bleaching powder. Okay, so preparation. How do you prepare bleaching powder? When chlorine gas is passed through calcium hydroxide or slaked lime. This is what we call slaked lime. Slaked lime. To this, when you pass a chlorine gas, you know, you get a compound CaOCl2 plus H2O as the byproduct. Okay, and this particular compound we are calling as bleaching powder. Okay, and its chemical name is calcium oxychloride. Calcium oxychloride. Remember the chemical name also, it's very important. Okay, so this is how we prepare bleaching powder. Whenever chlorine gas is passed through slaked lime, okay, you get CaOCl2 compound, which we call it as calcium oxychloride. Common name is bleaching powder. Okay, and now try to remember its uses. So what are the uses of bleaching powder? Again, this bleaching powder is used as disinfectant. Disinfectant. That means it can also kill the germs, harmful germs. So it is used as disinfectant. Infectant. Okay. So this is all about NaOH, that is caustic soda, and bleaching powder. In the next video, we will learn about baking soda and washing soda. Thank you.